and welcome to this lecture. So in the previous lecture we have set up the couple of functions, that is background, ground, pipes, step, and for bricks and enemies. So it's time to set up the Mario, that is our player of the game. So let's get here, and it should be list. So in this list we haven't add this enemy group, so add that enemy group 1 here. Similarly enemy group 2, all of these enemy groups should be added in this group list. So group 3 and enemy group 4. Let me just do it quickly. Now we have this list, so it's time to set up the Mario now. So Mario is our actual player, so let me set up the Mario and just give this object that will be the Mario when you call this setup Mario. So this basically places the Mario at the beginning of the level. That means the first character you see in this background will be the Mario. So let's create these instances, that is Mario instances. From we have Mario module and just call this class Mario. So we have now a player, that is the Mario. So let's create that Yux, and the position that should be, or the position of the Mario that should be in this screen or the viewport. So let me see, that is a Mario rect, and Yux, that is the position that should be in this Yux coordinate should be viewport, and this is basically starting Yux. So there should be the quite displacement. That means if our viewport starts from here, the Mario player should start quite from here. So that means you have to have something that's the 110 displacement. So it shouldn't start from right at the beginning from here. Instead there should be some displacement and it should start right from here or something like that. So after that we have now set up this Mario. So next thing is we have to have now bottom, that is Mario. Just create the bottom now with this rect dot bottom, and this bottom will be our ground height. So just call it, and it should be ground height, and here is our Mario game player. So now the next thing what you want to set up is just you can go up and we'll see what is left out, and it is set up in the sprite groups. So let's set up that. So that should be defined as set up sprite groups. Sprite, let me just spell it right, sprite groups, and just give the self here. After that let's see what is it going to do. It basically sprite groups created for the convenience. So let me say something that is sprite about to die here, and I'll say enemy group, and also I'll just create this another group for the step pipe and also for the enemy. So firstly what you're going to do is we are going to create a sprite, and this sprite is about to die group. So this is basically Mario about to die. So this should be Mario about to die group, and you know how to instantiate the group, that is from this Pygame module we have sprite and groups here. So let's call that, and the next sprite group will be the enemy, and it is important. So we'll just create this enemy group, and this should be instantiated as sprite dot group. So next thing will be our pipe group. So let's create that here, and it should be ground step, let me say ground step pipe group. Yes, ground step and pipe group, and let's instantiate as pg.sprite.group, and just create a group with an element, that is we have something that is a ground pipe here. That should be ground group, not pipe. And similarly pipe group, one will be the ground group, that is basically to set up this ground, and another will be the pipe group, and that is from here, that should be the pipe group here. And after that we have something that another group will be our step group, and it should be step group here. And we have this set up all this in the previous lecture, that is all if over here you can see brick group, and similarly you can see step group, and that was pipe group and ground group. So we added all of these into this ground step pipe group now. So this will take care all of this sprite that is of this ground group, pipe group and step group. Now let's set the Mario. So in order to set the Mario, we have something that is Mario. We have to create another group for Mario and enemy. So this should be Mario and enemy group, and it should be instantiated as an sprite obviously, and just give that self dot Mario here, and the enemy group, that is self dot enemy group. So this Mario is this group basically, and enemy group is here where we created this list. So this will be our enemy group. So next thing what we do is we'll update now. So let's go here and update it. So in this update, we'll take the self, we'll take the surface, and we'll also take the keys, that is the user handling keys and current time. So let's define this update function, and this updates the entire level using the states. So it is called by our control object. So let's define it within, let me create first the game info as an c dot current time. So let's set this game info to be something that is self dot current time. So this should be self dot current time, and after that we'll just create here that is handle state. So I'll say handle state function. So it should be created now, and it will take our keys, and we'll take another function. We'll just create another that is we'll say self dot bleed everything. So we'll just update here, that is with this function, and we'll just create this function too in a minute, and that is bleed everything, and you have to give a surface in order to bleed. So next an important statement would be to update, and in order to do that we'll just create another function that will be handle state here, and in this handle state we'll just give an current object and a keys, and this handle state is used if the level is in frozen state, and then only Mario will be updated. So basically if the level is in frozen state, Mario will update, so that case will be handled in this handle state. So we'll check if self dot state is, now if it is not frozen. So if it is not frozen, so let me just check for the frozen, and we'll check for the non-frozen. So if it is frozen, then the Mario should handle that with an update. So that should be update during transition state. That is the new function that we have to create now, and it will update, that is, let me say update during transition, because we have to make a transition here. So let me spell it right, that is transition state, and we have to pass here keys. So this is the new function that we have to define. Now we'll check for if the state is not frozen. So that means I'll say that is if it is equal to c dot not frozen. In that case we'll also define another function to update all the sprite. So I'll say, let me just update all sprite. So this function should be defined, and it should take obviously our keys. So based on the key it will update all the sprite. So it will be something that let me put it in elif. So it will be updating all the sprite. So let's implement these two functions, and we'll just do this in the next lecture. So see you there.